We do this every Thursday. We come in, we talk a little bit of pick six action, which I had a good week last week, trying to move my way on up, deciphering who I'm going to take in the pick six. But you know what questions we need answered now? Who is Kelsey Kramer taking in the pick six? And we are going to get after that right now as we welcome in our weekly guest, the first lady of football right here at sportsbookreview.com, Kelsey Kramer. Kelsey, how you doing out there?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
You're doing very well. Looking at the first, see, I made that up on the fly. Was that pretty good creative, bringing you in as the first lady of football here?
I'm honored. That's a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
There you go. Now, the one thing that we do know in the pick six contest, I'm pretty sure I have Kelsey's 6 picks up on my screen over here for once. I actually found it before she got on, so kudos to me. But I know we're not going to have any picks that have anything to do with the Falcons. I know Kelsey's probably not wearing anything that shows the Falcons on the screen, but we'll try to go with that, and we're going to see what happens here. Thursday Night Football tonight. We're going to end the show and talk about prop bets and which way we're finally going to go in that game. But I know we're looking at this because last week, I thought the Jets would win. I had the Jets -1 on Thursday Night Football. That was a loss. I know, Kelsey, you came back with a Thursday night play on the Jets. Now tonight, we're going to get after it again. A little Tom Brady, a little Nick Foles. Where are we going here tonight?
I mean, the Bucs haven't played any consistent ball, so I'm giving the Bears the points. Mike Evans is still questionable. Chris Godwin is hurt, so they're facing a Bears defense that's ranked 8th in the NFL. I think the Bears don't have the win here. Tom Brady's definitely going to take that home with him, but Bears getting the points.
Now, the one thing that we said with the Bears getting the points, and I want to bring this up because Kyle will also back me up on this. Sometimes it's not about picking the winner of the game, but getting a number much better than most people have. Because keep in mind, the Pick Six contest, you have all week to take these picks once they're up on the board on Tuesday. And some people were smart enough to get a certain number, Kelsey. Now, I'm looking at the board, and I'm seeing 3.5. Tell me your number tonight.
+6.
Whew, it's a good number. That's called adjusted line value, people, right there, one way or the other, and that's what we're talking about. It's a great pick.
No, you know what the good part about that is too, Kelsey, is, you took it at 6, which is genius. Now, Kyle would fire at 6. And then his line, he would have Tampa Bay at 6, and then Tampa Bay would close at -3. So
that's right. Yeah, that's right. I get it totally wrong. As Kelsey knows, that's why she doesn't listen to me anymore, because she knows I'm an idiot. So there we go. It works out just fine.
I might use you this weekend. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. That's good.
All right. Let's keep it moving here. Game number 2. How about this one? We saw on Monday Night Football, and you watched the Falcons. You said, boy, this is all they have. And, Dan Quinn's over there just looking for Tuesdays when that electronic deposit hits his account by woohoo, I'm stealing money out here, and I got another game to go do it. So let's take a look at that Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons game. Which way are we looking in this one here, Kelsey?
Okay, so the Falcons, we know they look incredible on paper, but they can't seem to get it all together. And Donnie, I'm following your lead. You wore the Eagles gear, and they eventually won, even though they were on a losing streak. Teddy Bridgewater looks like a real NFL QB now, and the Falcons are getting some of their injured players back, especially Ridley's coming back again this week, and after having a goose egg last week, he's going to look to make some plays. So it's going to be an offense battle. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, and we can't disagree because you're not looking at 2 elite level defenses here. And we know from one thing, where does Atlanta play? They play in a dome. I'm not worried about if it rains, or if there's 30-mile-an-hour winds, or the hurricane, remnants go over to Atlanta and rain the game out. That's not going to be the case. And I do think Carolina, with their wide receivers, will find some room against Atlanta. The only question marks in this game is who's going to show up at wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. But I think me and Kyle on the same page. You're more likely to get points than not here. If this game ends 17-14, you'd be like, what the hell just went on? Both of these teams should be in the 20s, which again gives you that legitimate shot at that 54 number here, Kyle.
Yeah, you'll be seeing me making Sunday Night Football desperate bets if that ends 17-14, because I'm going to have a bunch on the over and a bunch of DFS on this game. So it won't shock me if Kelsey's Falcons let me down again, because they've let me down several times this year. So I get to take a shot back at her. But no, I like the points in here, and I think it's the right way to go. You just don't want to pick a side because they're both equally, bad teams, if you will. So taking the points, 2 bad defenses, I like to pick.
Sunday afternoon action here. Those Las Vegas Raiders are going to go into Arrowhead to take on the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. And it's not 1 point. It's not 7 points. It's not 10. it's damn near 2 touchdowns in this game. So if we're looking between the Raiders and the Chiefs, nobody wants to bet, Kelsey, nobody wants to get a bet against the Chiefs, right?
Absolutely not. Except I'm giving the Raiders the points.
There you go.
The Raiders were able to stay in the game against the Bills. They had a chance going into halftime, and then turnover catastrophe. And if they limit those turnovers, I think they have a chance to stay in this game. The Chiefs' top defender, Chris Jones, is injured, and that's a bonus on the Raiders side. Now, that's not going to give them a win right off the bat, but they're going to stick. They're going to stick closer than that 3-point spread.
I think they do too. And also, guys, if you haven't got in the SBR Pick 6 contest, you can do so at any time. Might not be able to qualify for the end of the year prize, but week-to-week prizes right here. There's a link right at the bottom. You see us talking here, sbrpicks.com/pick 6 contest. And I got to tell you, I think somebody's monitoring my picks. And the reason I say that is earlier today, I'm like, I don't have any picks in yet for the Pick 6. I usually like to lock them in, Wednesday, Thursday, pick a couple here and there. So I go in, and what did you know? The very first game I look at there is like, you know what? I like the Raiders. I like them at 13. It sits at 13. So I push the 13 button and I go up top. I'm looking at, Bills, game's not on the board, Indianapolis. So by the time I push the button, it moves down to 11.5. And I wanted to call down to Costa Rica and say, you know what? Look, I'm already handicapped as it is right now. You're going to take points away when I actually think I have the right one. I was almost ready to push the 11.5. Like, yeah, you're not going to steal those 1.5 points on me that way. So still get in the contest. A lot of fun. I'm hovering around that. I think like 285 out of, 1,300 people. So we'll see if we can press that needle and try to get up here and make some money in this thing. Next game, we'll go over the NFC least. And the injured Cowboys continue to keep getting injured on the front line. We watched that Giants offense and we're like, what the hell is going to score on this team right now? Well, they're going against a very poor defense, but still, if you have a very poor defense, you still need some offensive production to go up and down the field and put points on the board. Which way are we leaning? Are we going to take the Cowboys? We're going to take the Giants and over, under? Kelsey, where are we going in this game?
Jason Garrett is looking for revenge in this game after the Cowboys let him go. And the Giants played unexpectedly well against the Rams. Yeah. And then obviously the Cowboys have a very weak defense right now. So I'm taking the under on this one. I think the Giants are going to put up some points. Cowboys going to put up some points, but it's still not going to be a big point game.
What are you looking on here, Kyle? I mean, look, we can see it both ways. I can see Dallas moving up and down the field, but that question mark that we continue to have is, what are we getting at quarterback for the New York Giants and their Pee-wee football coach here?
That's the problem, yeah. And you wonder how many push-ups he's made his grandpa take over the week. Is he bringing the players in and making their great uncles run sprints? But It's just tough. Like I said, you can't trust the Cowboys defense. They're absolutely atrocious. You can't trust the head coach because Mike McCarthy is one of the dumbest coaches to ever grace the sidelines in the NFL. And then you have Daniel Jones. He's terrible. And, now I'm not feeling so bad for mocking the Giants for drafting him in the top 10 overall. And maybe they do wish they had Sheila Manning back, with his pouty face on the sideline, because that offense looks absolutely horrible. I know they hung in with the Rams, but they still only put up 9 points. I mean, am I supposed to be excited about this offense when they scored 9 points with Devontae Freeman and Golden Tate trying to defend his sister's honor in the locker room? Give me a break. I like the under. I think the Cowboys can put up points. I'm not sure the Giants can, even though the Cowboys defense is so horrific. So I do like the underplay on this. And like I said, I'm leaning Dallas, but the idea of ever again putting money on a Mike McCarthy coach team makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Basically, that's what happened.
I'll tell you what's great, too. There's a lot of things I like with hosting NFL shows, specifically right here with Sportsbook Review. There's 2 things I really like. Number 1 is taking shots at Kyle, and number 2 is taking shots at every NFC East team because, I guess they could shut my mic off, but, Redskins, we spend extra time drilling them. We make fun of the Dallas Cowboys. The one thing that will not happen on the show is anybody making fun of my Philadelphia Eagles. But let's move on to Sunday Night Football here. Minnesota and Seattle. Kirk Cousins. I scream and yell every week, and then I do the same thing. I bet against Seattle, and I say, look, I'm going to cash this ticket. It's the fourth quarter. We got this game. And I sit there, and by the end of it, I'm just like this, oh, my God, I did it again to myself. And I'm really trying, again, to do it to myself here by taking Minnesota, getting the touchdown this one. Kelsey, Sunday Night Football up in the Northwest. No fans in the stands. Nobody can stop Russell Wilson. But do you think that they can cover that touchdown spread here?
Yes. Seahawks and Pete Carroll. are 4-0 against Mike Zimmer and the Vikings. The Seahawks secondary has been hit hard, but MVP candidate Russell Wilson is going to lead this team. So Seahawks get the points, -7. Vikings only have one win under their belt and are still getting their footing, and they're not going to get it any better in Seattle.
It just doesn't seem to matter like who's on defense against Russell Wilson, if his offensive line is banged up, if you give him 2 legitimate wide receivers and one of his 19 running backs that he has, they just move the football. And even when it looks like they're struggling a little bit on offense, or maybe it's coming up to the half or the end of the game, you saw it last week. They exploded late in the Dolphins game, but also right before the half, like 20 seconds to go, take a knee and take it to the locker room. They're throwing darts right down the field and scoring points. He's so hard to defend. So when I look at scores like this and you see the 57, that usually means that Minnesota is going to put up points, which I do think they will. But it would just be shocking to me if Seattle doesn't land in the mid-30s in this game, which means Minnesota's going to have to chase them down and get damn near close to 30, Kyle.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. I mean, look at the secondary for Minnesota. Holton Hill, Cameron Dantzler, Jeff Gladney. They have absolutely no chance against DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. No chance at all. The one thing that makes me lean towards the under, I'm going to keep an eye on that weather situation. If it's going to rain the entire football game, that does make me concerned that Minnesota can keep up. I have no problem with Seattle in the rain. They're used to that. He's been doing it their entire career. They live in the rain all day long. That's, it can be 80 degrees and raining in Seattle. Every day is 50% chance of rain in Seattle. Do I trust Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen and a young rookie receiver and BC Johnson in the rain? Not so much, and I can't stand Kirk Cousins, namely because, his name starts with a K as well, and he got a cooler version of it. I think Kirk is obviously a cooler name than Kyle, so that really kind of pisses me off just a little bit with Kirk Cousins there. But no, I'm going to lean the under. I think Seattle can get there to the points, but I'm going to keep an eye on that weather. I'm not so sure Minnesota can, even against a bad defense.
Yep, Kirk Cousins, a little taller, a little more handsome, a little more athletic, little bit more money as well, I probably would assume as well for you, Kyle. So there we go. Maybe there's a chance if you could throw that football over the mountain, you can make it back to the NFL. So we'll see. Yeah. Monday Night Football, the Chargers and the New Orleans Saints. We were talking early before the show. There was some, clarification we needed on where the game is going to be played, but it looks like New Orleans is really fighting hard to keep that game down in the dome. Still no fans are going to be in there, which makes a monster difference, but you're still seeing a over touchdown favorite here. Opens up at 7.5, even some 8s and some 8.5 showing up against FanDuel and some outlets here in New Jersey. Looks like we're going to get some points. But having said that, opens at 52, now drops down to 50. And I have to say, I was laughing and I was loving it. And my PhD was on. I was hating on Drew Brees, 14-0. This bum can't do anything without any weapons. And before you could blink, 14-7, 14-14, and away the New Orleans Saints go. So now they're going to get a pretty honest effort out of Justin Herbert, young quarterback going on the road who played well last week, had a 24-7 lead, and let it just evaporate as the game went on. And you didn't even get the cover because most people got the 7 in that game. It's amazing. You're up 17 points with the football, and the best you could do gambling on it was get a push from the Chargers' perspective. Now we take a look at it here. Saints are favored at home. Saints in prime time. But again, no fans allowed back into the stands just yet. Which way are we going with this football game here in the Pick Six contest for you, Kelsey?
Well, this is a really cool fact. New Orleans has covered the spread 18 straight October games since 2015. So I got to give it to the Saints. But like you said, you think Drew Brees is a scrub, and then again, he shows that he's actually a stud. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Monday night's down in the dome.
It hurts dropping in the rankings, that quickly. One game and you drop in the rankings. No, I don't disagree with it. I always like the Chargers at home, the Saints at home. But it seems like a lot of points. I like that Justin Herbert was announced the starter going forward. No more of this Tyrod Taylor nonsense with the Chargers from Anthony Lynn. I just think it's too many points. I want to see what the status of Marshawn Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins is going in. I know it looks like they could be back. But if they're out, Justin Herbert's shown he can throw the football. Now, the Chargers are going to be without Austin Eckler, so that certainly helps.
Yeah.
The Saints this week and, Monday night, and you talked about this. There was some talk this game had moved to Indianapolis, but now it looks like it's going to stay there. There's that Hurricane Delta. Is that what it's called? Naming it after Delta Burke, which was
Delta Phi Zeta. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly a hurricane in the 80s. I love that TV show. That's showing my age, but there we go. Right now, I'm leaning the Chargers to cover, but it's a tough one, and it's hard to argue with the Saints covering at home with that fantastic October records from 2015.
So is that like I think like I want to say like Designing Women is like that's
Designing
the show
Women,
you were
that's what it was.
back then? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. You know,
We're about to drop down to about one viewer here if we keep
yeah,
going
yeah,
any
yeah.
longer.
Designing Women. I was a mama's boy. What can I say? You know.